Okay, guys, so we're going to talk about on the setting the pace is about starting a colt isn't something, it's everything. So I'm just going to show you real quick, short little clip. This horse is 5 years old. He's had 3 different trainers, so now I'm the 4th. And you can really mess horses up when you start them. He is very messed up. And in fact, he's got PTSD. So he actually has PTSD from tarps, which trickles into just about everything else that he does. So I'm just going to show you real quick. And it's way better than it was because he's been here 7 sessions now. So that's really good for him right there, the fact that he can stand there and sniff this flag. Normally, or when he came here, he had a heart attack. He was also here this summer, and we worked with him just a little bit, like 1 session or something, just to try to get him calmed down a little bit. So this is really, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll get into more about why colt starting isn't something, it's everything in the actual Zoom call, but I just wanted to show you. Here's a horse that's been messed up, and we're trying to fix it, which is 100 times worse than don't mess it up in the first place. So tarps is his biggest, scariest thing. So there, you see I moved this tarp. It's a real quiet, wore-out old tarp. And you see his reaction. This is after 7 sessions, and you could not do this when he got here. Remember, 3 trainers have had this horse. So this was a no-go for him. Rubbing with the tarp. And generally speaking, it's the first trainer that screws things up. Not always, but generally it's the first one. So yeah, I'll explain more about that in Zoom. Anyways, I just want you to see his reaction to this, and it's mild compared to what it was. There's his thoughts and things. I'm not going to do more than that. I just want you to see. This is a really quiet, wore-out tarp. I'm going to grab a noisier tarp over here. Okay, so here we are at the scarier, noisier tarp. You see his reaction already? So when he got here, he'd be pulling me across the arena. You can see his worries about this. I'm going to put that on the ground and ask him to walk across it. He will, but it's just a whole bunch of extra work. So remember, 5 years old, 3 trainers, and the way he was started is what's created all this. All right, I'm going to get a different horse and I'll show you one that hasn't been messed up. All right, now here we got a nice little yearling that nobody's messed with. He's been petted and some of that stuff before he got here, but we're going to put 10 days on this guy and play with him. And so we've started doing, so he's been here the same time as that other one, but he hasn't been handled. This is seven times we played with this guy, and that's all in his whole life. The other guys had 5 different people take a run at him and get him all messed up. That's how he acts like that. So you can see his demeanor compared to the other one, just with that even, is better. All right, now we're going to use the quiet tarp, the easier tarp. And you want to take note of the differences in the horse's eyes as well. So again, 5 people handled the other guy. He's 5 years old. This guy has had 7 basically handlings in his whole life, and you can see his whole demeanor just way more relaxed. Starting a colt isn't something, it is everything. All right, so here's the scary tarp. His behavior again compared to the other guys. I wouldn't even do that with the other guy. I would not stand here and do this with the other guy because you're likely to get kicked or run over. Fella. So yeah, starting them right and getting them quiet and not creating PTSD in your horse. I'm telling you, there's a million ways to do it. I'm just showing the tarp. Alright, so I'm just going to lay the tarp down so you can see that too. This is the big, scary, loud noise. And you can see his behavior again compared to the other guys. You're a superstar. You're a superstar. Anyway, this isn't about tarps, and it's not, it's not about tarps. It's about, if you do it right, they should look like this. If you do it wrong, they look like that other horse. And the amount of work I have had to do in the last 7 days to get him even as good as he is ridiculous. But he's going to be carrying that level of fear for lots of things, not just the tarp. And nobody meant to do it, but they sure as hell did.